You got the acceptance email. Congratulations, you're in. But now you're struggling, and you can't quite figure out why. If you've ever felt like everyone else just understands how a PhD works except you, this video is for you. Here's the truth. You're not failing. No one actually explained the rules. Every PhD program comes with a hidden curriculum that shapes who thrives and who burns out, yet no one says them out loud. Let me walk you through what no one told you. So, what is a hidden curriculum? Formally, a PhD looks pretty clear. There is research, supervision, and evaluation criteria. But that's not the whole story. There are unspoken expectations, power dynamics, and cultural assumptions about what a good PhD candidate is supposed to look like. The hidden curriculum is about everything that shapes your success, but is never explicitly taught. A PhD isn't just about learning research skills. It's about becoming part of academia. You're figuring out how independent you're supposed to be, how visible you should be, how to talk about your work, how much you're expected to keep moving forward even when your research isn't going as planned and guidance is unclear. You're also learning how to take part in the academic world, how conversations, conferences, and casual interactions lead to opportunities. Most of this you learn by trial and error. So what does this look like in everyday life? It often starts with unclear expectations. You're told to be more independent, but not too independent. To take initiative, but without overstepping. To publish, but only when the work is ready. Ready according to what? Feedback can be vague or change over time. One meeting something sounds promising, the next time it's not quite there. This isn't just your experience. Many supervisors think they've been clear, while those they're advising still feel unsure what's expected. When the rules aren't clear, success depends on whether you guess them right. And when you don't, it feels personal. Another big part of the hidden curriculum lies in the relationship with your supervisor. On paper, it looks supportive and collaborative. In reality, your supervisor has a lot of power over timelines, feedback, paper credit, and future opportunities. So you start wondering, when is it okay to push back? Does asking questions make you look professional or unprepared? What does silence mean? You might find yourself overthinking every email, paralyzed by the uncertainty of how a single sentence will be interpreted. Research consistently finds a clear power imbalance between PhD candidates and their supervisors. Many of them are left to figure out the unwritten rules of academia entirely on their own. In fact, many PhD candidates say this relationship is one of their biggest sources of stress, sometimes more than the research itself. And of course, some supervisors do make expectations clear and handle this really well. But whether you get that support shouldn't depend on luck. This pattern of ambiguity goes beyond supervision too. Many of the skills that shape academic careers are learned informally. These include how peer review actually works, how publication strategies are chosen, how authorship order is negotiated, how networking and visibility influence opportunities, how grants and jobs are really evaluated. So when students struggle, it's often not because they lack ability, but because they lacked access to insider knowledge. The hidden curriculum isn't only intellectually demanding, it's emotionally taxing too. Over time, many pick up messages like, "Suffering is normal. Overwork is admired, but rarely acknowledged. Passion should replace boundaries. and distress is something you're supposed to manage privately. Experiences like imposter syndrome, anxiety, and burnout are often framed as personal weaknesses, as signs that something is wrong with you. But research shows they're common reactions to unclear expectations and unequal power. When large numbers of capable, motivated people feel the same way, the problem isn't the individuals. The problem is the system. And this system doesn't affect everyone in the same way. Those who are the first in their family to pursue a PhD, international researchers, people from underrepresented backgrounds, and those working across fields, often face extra hurdles. Not because they're less capable, but because the rules are harder to see. That means you're not only doing your PhD work, you're also doing extra work to figure out how everything functions. You might be trying to work out whether you're expected to challenge your supervisor or agree. You might be navigating unfamiliar communication styles. You may constantly think about how you're coming across and whether you belong. That extra mental and emotional effort is part of the experience too. The program is the same for everyone, but not everyone experiences it the same way. Here's the hopeful part. Making the hidden curriculum explicit helps. When expectations are discussed openly, when mentoring doesn't depend on mind reading, when differences in authority are acknowledged, PhD candidates feel more prepared, less alone, and better able to move forward. Being clear doesn't lower standards, it just removes unnecessary obstacles. And it breaks the myth that successful scholars are the ones who figure everything out by themselves. If you're doing a PhD right now and quietly doubting yourself, hear this. You didn't mess up. You're not incapable. You were never taught the rules of the game. When those rules are made visible and you can talk about them openly, the path becomes easier to navigate. And you have more than enough strength to handle what comes next. If you would like to learn more about this, keep an eye out for future videos.